Picture this. You're watching your favorite episode of Awesome Bug Girl and Cool Cat Boy versus Scary Purple Butterfly Man. You're your favorite part. The wonderful voice of Keith Silverstein saying, "Fly away, my little Akumu," and evilize him. When a question strikes you like a lightning bolt from the sky. Wait a second. Why does Hawkmoth need a whole garden full of butterflies for his Akumas anyway? Like, think about it. No other Miraculous user in the show has the live versions of their animals running around. Natalie isn't using live peacocks for the feathers in her amucks. Or even Marinette isn't using real-life ladybugs when she does her Miraculous ladybug. Honestly, Gabriel is really lucky. First, that he's rich enough to be able to have this whole secret floor in his house to hide these butterflies, and second, the animals that he has to hide don't make loud noises. Like, imagine a Miraculous alternate universe where they all have to use the real-life animal of their Miraculous. Marinette is lugging home a giant terrarium of ladybugs, Adrian adopts a bunch of stray black cats, and Natalie has to try to desperately quiet down the peacocks in the mansion's basement. Which fun factor's super loud? Anyway, I've come up with 3 theories to explain why this is the case. And so I need your help, ladies and gentlemen. Please leave your thoughts in the comment section below, and hopefully we can figure out why it's solely Hawkmoth that has to use his Miraculous animals like this. Theory 1. Because he thinks he's supposed to subconscious edition. Hear me out. Hear me out. Let me cook. What I mean by this title. I think the use of these butterflies could also be a subconscious decision upon his part. We know that the Miraculous expresses itself based on the subconscious desires of its user. That's why for a given Miraculous, each Miraculous holder has a different costume design. For example, Adrian's design is Chat Noir versus Marinette's design as Lady Noir. Adrian might see his role as Chat Noir as his wild side, but he still feels connected to his rigid home life, hence the bell on his collar. Whereas Lady Noir has the green highlights to stand out. You know what, I'll save all the hero character designs for another video. Anyway, my point in bringing that up is to say perhaps the same is true for Hawkmoth. Perhaps he has built a persona for himself as a Miraculous user, a live butterfly using, dramatic monologue speaking, fancy lair, having villain. As a result of his subconscious perception of himself that way, the butterfly Miraculous decided that he needed to use live butterflies. This theory is plausible, but lacks some oomph for me. So I give it a 3 out of 5 stars on being a good theory. Let me know what you think about this one. Moving along. Theory 2. Because he thinks he's supposed to conscious edition. Now it's not just the subconscious. The Miraculous can act on the conscious wishes of a Miraculous user as well. We see that from the case of the Black Cat Miraculous. Adrian's typical design is Chat Noir, but during the episode Kuro Nico, we see him talk to Plag and actively change his design into Catwalker. To apply this to Hawkmoth, he could have consciously told Nuru to incorporate these real butterflies into his Akumas. In fact, I could see this as a cool headcanon. Perhaps Gabriel already had a bunch of butterflies. He's rich enough, and he could have a quiet, peaceful butterfly garden for him and Emily to relax and enjoy in, like their own little spot. That would be cute. This idea that the butterflies could be his and Emily's from before is supported by the fact that when we've seen Emily's glass case in the series, she's often surrounded by these butterflies, so it makes sense that it could have been her garden. That being said, a potential argument against this is Adrian. Does he know about this? If these were Emily and Gabriel's butterflies, then it would have to be secret between the two, or something from when Adrian was incredibly young and he has since forgotten. Because otherwise, if Adrian is aware that his father has a bunch of butterflies lying around and still can't figure out that he's Hawkmoth, I can't even. But yeah, I really like the idea of Gabriel utilizing her butterflies in the same Akumas that he is using in his attempt to save her, as a way of honoring/remembering her. I'm giving this a 4.5 stars out of 5 on this theory being true. What do you think? Last but not least, Theory 3. The butterfly Miraculous requires it. This last theory took me a good bit of thinking to come up with. At first, I thought maybe the use of live animals came because Gabriel was using the Miraculous as an adult, compared to Ladybug and Chat Noir who use it as kids. But that doesn't work, since Natalie is an adult Miraculous user, and she doesn't need to use live animals. So I thought about it more. It has to be something unique to Nuru, or to the butterfly Miraculous itself. Like maybe the butterfly Miraculous is just intensely powerful, and the fact that the butterflies are real helped to ground the Kwami's magic. I could see this making sense, since we've seen things like this before, like how the Miraculous were created in the first place, because bad things happen when a Kwami uses its power without a user. Cough cough Plag, and the extinction of the dinosaurs cough cough. Anyway, we have more evidence about this when we look at the pictures of ancient Miraculous holders. Notice how none of them have their animals around, except for the butterfly Miraculous holder. Even back then, the butterfly Miraculous holders had a bunch of butterflies swirling around them. It's not crazy to see this as a tradition that butterfly Miraculous holders have to raise their butterflies in order to use their Akumas. I can even imagine a funny scene of Nuru handing Gabriel this giant book on taking care of butterflies when he first uses the butterfly Miraculous, and Gabriel has to do all this major prep work before he can even use the Miraculous. With all this evidence, I was ready to give this theory a 5 stars and accept it as the truth. Except the show kind of disproves this one. To see what I mean, just take a look at the other butterfly Miraculous users who have Akumatized people in the show. For instance, when Ladybug used the butterfly Miraculous and became Ladyfly, did she maintain a garden of butterflies to use in Akuma? No. The tool of the butterfly Miraculous, the cane, has an opening on the top from which you can generate butterflies. Ladyfly did this, proving that it is not, in fact, a requirement of the butterfly Miraculous itself/Nuru for the user to have a butterfly garden ready. That's why I'm giving this theory a 1 out of 5 stars, since I think the show itself is showing that it's not true. In short, to answer the question, why does Gabriel Agreste need to raise butterflies for his Akumas? I believe it's just because he wants to. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comment section below. Perhaps someone will remember something from the show I'm forgetting, and we'll be able to lay this question to rest for sure. Anyway, bye. Nuru, dark wings fall.